right, so since Ted Nugent felt the need to want to speak again on George Floyd or anybody black for that matter, I felt the need to speak directly on Ted Nugent. And this is not the first rock artist, during my stint of doing videos that I've covered. I've covered quite a few along with their lyrics about girls who are of a certain age range, right? So it says this about Nugent: relationship with teen girls. Nugent's 1981 song Jailbait describes having relations with a underage person. He admitted to several affairs with underage girls in a behind the music episode. Musician Courtney Love claims that she had relations with Nugent when she was 12, and on a later occasion, she stated that she had another when she was 14. In 1978, Nugent began a relationship with a 17-year-old Hawaiian native named Pele Massa. However, they could not marry due to the age difference. To get around this, Nugent joined Massa's parents in signing documents to make himself her legal
Well, you could
guardian.
end up in jail sometime really soon. I know that. Fact.
No, man.
Yeah.
No, man, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
That's what I love about these high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age.
Do my stuff. Why you calling like a bitch? Ain't you trying to strike the chord and then probably.
Okay, so I threw in the clip of, what was it, Dazed and Confused. I think that was a movie that was Matthew McConaughey. And he had his famous line directly in there where he was talking to a group of high schoolers watching obviously some other high school girls walk directly by, right? As I get older, they stay the same age, right? Crazy line. Diabolical in nature. And then I decided to put in Kendrick, They Not Like Us, and had to throw in the A minor, right? Because it all has to do back with Ted Nugent, because he wanted to open his mouth and specifically speak on black people, or just be specific when it dealt with George Floyd, because oddly enough, that just seems to be their go-to obsession for whatever reason. I have no clue. I do have a clue. I know why it is that they're specifically fixated on him, and that has to do with other background things there that they tend to detail, fixate on, and look directly at. But it be like that. That sounds more so of a personal problem when it deals with those men out there. But I decided to look at Ted Nugent's profile, and I wanted to see the type of people that would follow a person like this. He has 800k, close to like 1 million people directly up there, and I'm pretty sure Twitter has the ability for the celebrities or the higher ups up there to follow somebody but not really be accounted for in the list of names. But some of the names that I was able to pick, you see directly in front of you, right? You have Sarah Palin, not Lisa Ann, right? If you know, you know. We have Sheriff Joe Arpaio, right? And you see him with a picture of Trump, right? I'm guessing everybody here must be a Republican, right? It has to be a Republican. Next, you have David A. Clarkey Jr. This is somebody that we've been able to see throughout the many years, right? Next person we got is a celebrity slash comedian who is Larry the Cable Guy. Get her done, right? That whole thing. He had a comedy thing, TV show, all of that stuff, right? At one point, he was at the peak of his career. He could get no higher. Literally, he was all over the place. And next, we have Scott Baio. Now, if you're not old enough, you don't know who Scott Baio is. Scott Baio is a person who is a actor. He was in Charles in Charge, Of Our Days and Our Lives, right? And then you also have the whole thing of Joni Loves Chachi. That whole thing. Or maybe I might be incorrect. I don't know. It's been so long ago. Then we also got the Mandela effect, so I might be a little bit, off. But I found it very interesting that everything that I was able to list when it dealt with Ted Nugent, any and everybody could clearly look up and see, and more than likely knew, of course, people that are older than me. But yet it seems as though that these people are following him and a great deal of other people. But these are the same people who would also say that they care about the family. They care about the safety. They care about the growth of the children directly up there, and how it is that the family is precious and they need to be safeguarded and protected, right? Especially the most vulnerable and valuable ones that we have. But yet they follow somebody like Ted Nugent, who within the realm of making music has stated his type of truth and or ideologies and actions in music, written form. And then on top of that, he has also admitted these things on documentary, TV show, what have you, when he was asked about these things or decided to divulge the information himself. But even with all of that stuff being directly out there, these people and many more decided to still follow this guy and subscribe to whatever stuff that he talks about. That's some diabolical work. Diabolical in nature. And I thought that that was actually quite dangerous to do, especially dealing with a person like that. I thought it would hurt somebody's brand. I thought it would hurt the money, the deals, and all this other type of stuff, and other people's celebrity. Obviously not. And the craziest part directly about this whole situation is that usually if you have people, as they would like to say, birds of a feather flock together. Meaning that if these people follow Ted Nugent, they also have similar feelings, ideologies, or have also done certain actions. Which also leads to the next point where a lot of people will say when it deals with celebrities, it's one big party and you're not invited. And usually the reason that people are not invited is because they're not initiated. They have not done the things that are necessary in order to get directly up there. And usually if you have people like these, that you just the few that you see in front of you, usually if you got people like this that follow somebody like that, they may be interested or have done, or the third option, all three things, right? They've done all three. That's usually the reason why all of these people are together. But yet, for the greater majority, the greater masses out there, meaning the Caucasian people out there, these are your gods. These are your people. These are the people that you idolize, that you look up to. They can do no wrong. These are the people that you won't question. These are the people that you allow to be over your lives. Very interesting. Let me just say, the saddest part about this whole situation is knowing the fact that even with pointing out this information, this would be one of the more than likely lowest viewed videos, lowest comments, and a lot of people who pass by will not take a second glance, and it will just be pretty much dead on arrival, because that seemingly is what normally happens with videos like this, even when the main core is to bring awareness of the problems and the situations out here, and how you have a lot of these people who are rich, right, affluent, wealthy, who decide that they want to partake in. The only way I can basically preface this is by trying to state it in, I guess, in a biblical means, right, or by framing the Bible within it. You're dealing with people who are trying to find the best way to make God cry. I think that's the best way to put it, because you're literally dealing with individuals who are willing to go after the most vulnerable of people in society, the ones who cannot defend themselves, who cannot speak for themselves. And again, this is something that I've talked about and mentioned before. I've brought out, a multitude of times in many other videos as well, and those have also fallen flat too. But yeah, like I said, this is America. This is how stuff like this works. This is why things of this magnitude are able to go on for so long, because the masses, the greater majority, the highest representation, the face of the United States, they refuse to actually do anything about it. They refuse to go after their heroes. They refuse to go after their musicians. They refuse to go after their actors, and a great deal of many others directly out there that partake in these exact same abhorrent actions that I was able to read off to you. And this happens daily. Just trust me, stuff like this happens daily. And this is why I've also highlighted this even in the basic context of the everyday jobs, such as doctors, lawyers, DA, judges, police officers, firefighters, EMS, nurses, pediatricians, whatever area that you can think of around the United States where a person holds a job, somebody in that area has been caught, has been captured, has been identified, either within the action, attempting the action, option C, which is both, or option D, which is everything, and even to the worst extent. But again, like I said before, it's going to keep happening because a lot of people with a lot of money are involved. And again, a lot of money is involved with things like this. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.